Hi, I'm Allison Lamb, and this is Weaving Green Justice at COP30, a series of reflections from the heart of the Amazon in Belém. Each clip captures a moment of meaning, weaving together analyses of delegate negotiations, stories of social justice, and interpretations of climate texts through the lens of green ideology. Here's today's thread.
This episode is dedicated to Frank Sheridan, former Executive Secretary of the Global Greens. This will be the very first COP, either UNFCCC or CBD, that I have coordinated without him. Part of me will always equate COP with Frank. Miss you, Frank.
This is a map of the COP30 venue. It is at City Park in Belém, Brazil. As you can see, the green zone and the blue zone are side by side. The blue zone here on the right is the official area of negotiation, and it is restricted access. You have to have accreditation in order to enter that area. Party members will have accreditation, those that belong to nation states and part of a negotiation, or certain intergovernmental organizations, non-governmental organizations have been granted observer status. So members of those organizations that have been granted observer status may have observer accreditation, and media and UN staff can enter there as well. And then this area is the green zone. This is the area that's usually called the People's COP. That is where those who don't have accreditation, or even those who do, may spend time to participate at COP, because that is also where a lot of activism occurs. Activists would carry forward action campaigns, and also anybody who generally wants to be involved and participate at COP who does not have accreditation could be found in the green zone. And this is a closer look at the blue zone. This fuchsia area is the main entrance where they check for security, especially the first time when you haven't picked up your badge yet. You would go there to pick up your badge. And this is the security checkpoint to enter into the blue zone. You may have heard the venue being called the Hangar Convention, and that is because this blue area here used to be an airplane hangar. For the purposes of COP, it is going to be the area for special and parallel events. This yellow area is the area that will have all of the pavilions, and the parallel events will be here too. Or no, sorry, the delegation offices will be here too. This is where the youth pavilion and the women's pavilion and country pavilions will also be. This green area, Zone D, is where the official negotiation rooms are going to be. And then this orange area, Zone E, is the media area. And this red area, Zone F, is where the plenaries will take place. And also, this is the gastronomic center.
Some of you may have heard by now that unbadged protesters have pushed their way into the blue zone, where accreditation is required. They immediately faced the immense COP30 security team, and the situation was managed quickly. However, it served to highlight for me how the voices of the people were silenced, while decision makers remained safely within their high towers. This is one of my strongest criticisms of the COP process. Some would say that even those of civil society invited to join as observers aren't truly a part of grassroots. When altercations like this one occur, you do tend to wonder if the people most affected are actually being heard. Once you arrive at the venue, this is what it actually looks like. As you can see, it's beautiful and chaotic. There are volunteers everywhere to help guide those who may be lost, but it can still be quite overwhelming when you first arrive. If you're lucky, you're ushered right into the security checkpoint. If you're not, you may end up stuck outside in the sweltering heat for a long time. There are many volunteers to welcome us and hand out water, making the heat more bearable. There are food kiosks as well as a gastronomical center, but COP is cashless and you have to load funds onto their cards in order to purchase food. The lineups are long and the food is expensive. But unless you brought food into the venue, you have no choice but to eat what is on offer. From the temporary structures to the extravagant displays, from the overwhelming amount of security to endless power draw for air conditioning and technical equipment, only one word can describe this COP: expensive. There has been a lot of discussion about the United States pulling completely out of the UNFCCC and the complete lack of delegation here. This has caused a vacuum in many ways, particularly with respect to funding. The rumor is that China is ready to step up and fill that vacuum, being the biggest producer of solar, EV, and other tools of ecological modernization in the last year. In fact, within some of the negotiation rooms, delegates appear to be deferring to China, almost inviting them to fill that void. I have concerns about going down the route of ecological modernization, which also seems to be the chosen route of many in the Canadian government. To me, the answer to averting the climate crisis is not technological advancement. Just because you create the most innovative and modern solar panels on the planet, it says nothing about how much waste you created and how much damage you caused to the planet in order to get there. After visiting Sao Paulo, I want to embrace the process, but it's a little hard to keep defending the necessity of COP when all around me is evidence of excess and being out of touch with the people. I still believe it's a necessary mechanism because it's a place for civil society to learn, discuss new ideas, and exchange knowledge. But the negotiators, the ones who need this knowledge the most, remain siloed, sometimes in closed negotiations, excluding civil society. And of course, once agreement is reached, there is still the question of implementation.